into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another after show for Once Upon a Time right here on AfterBuzzTV.com. This is Season 4, Episode 10, Shattered Sight, that we are recapping today. I'm Cathy Kelley. Joining me, as always, we have the full panel this week. Tiona Hobson.
Hello, everyone.
Across from me, Kaori Takee.
Hi, everybody.
And Marisa Serafini.
Hello, everyone.
And then we are very, very excited because we have a very special guest. Scott Nancy Foster. Scott Michael Foster.
It's
in
N
studio.
as in Michael. N as in Michael.
Oh my God. N as in Nancy. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Got
Oh,
it.
it was so confused.
Happens all the time.
You probably recognize him from the show as Kristoff, or if you watch Chasing Life, or were a fan of Greek back in the day,
yes.
You'd recognize him from that too. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And you were in this episode a lot.
Yeah, a little
albeit
bit,
unconscious
sure. Yeah.
in some of it.
Yeah.
Those little, like, Kristoff one-liners. I love those.
Definitely. So shall we get into recapping? We have so many questions for you. We want to talk about the casting process, everything towards the end of our after show. So stay tuned for that if you are watching live. But getting into this episode tonight, we start off present day Storybrook. But before all of that, let's just talk about the flashbacks. We start Boston 1982. This is where we see Madame Faustina, I think her name was. The Snow Queen goes to her. She's a palm reader, but she is a fake. Madame Faustina predicts the savior's name is Susan. Snow Queen calls her out and leaves angrily.
Shout out to Rebecca Wasaki who played her.
Yeah.
She's been here in the studios a couple times. She's actually pretty cool.
She's on Devious Maids, right?
Yeah, Devious
okay,
Maids.
I thought I
So when I
recognized
saw her, I was like, hey, there's Rebecca. I thought she was awesome, especially for playing like a con type of artist.
Yeah.
She for the short amount of time she was on screen, she was pretty fun.
Yeah.
If I was the Snow Queen, I would have definitely got my necklace back as what she used for payment. I also would have gone to like a pawn shop or somewhere and sold that. I mean, she could have been walking around as like a millionaire back in 1982 with diamonds that huge. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying this is how I would have done it in my life, but to each their own.
I wouldn't want to go up against a Boston lady with a bat.
Oh, I thought you were going to say me.
You
Darn.
too. It's quite scary.
Yeah, you with a bat, I don't know.
Especially in Boston.
I mean, just stay out of the way because if I'm swinging, I'm probably not aiming.
We go to the foster home that Emma was in for some time that Ingrid was running. We see young Emma and fellow foster kid Kevin, who is being a jerk to her. The Snow Queen, Ingrid, saves the day, gets Emma back the camera that she had, and is nice to Emma, tells Emma that Kevin's afraid of spiders, and Emma agrees to stay one more night.
I'm glad they didn't show the spiders. I was like, I don't know if I could have handled that. I was like, are they going to really follow through with this prank? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was good to see kind of the base of, because we've been told that Emma did have this relationship with Ingrid and that, they did love each other and that they were going to be a family, but we never got to see it. So I like that they gave us the flashbacks to actually see the relationship and how it grew and all this stuff just from the past. I like flashbacks in this show.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about, or they talk about later in this episode about the positive memories, the ones that they had in that crystal, and it seemed like we were seeing some of those between Emma and Ingrid earlier in this episode. So, I don't know. It was cute, their interaction.
Yeah, and they were just so cute together, and it's nice to see the original Ingrid. you know,
Yeah.
her still like being sweet and kind to Emma, and they did actually look alike, so you could actually believe that they were family. And in that moment I was like, oh, this is all she ever wanted, guys.
And like seeing Ingrid in that aspect and past Ingrid, you're thinking, man, I feel for her. You know, she was sweet and caring. She really, truly loved Emma. So all her intentions are good. They're just really evil.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk
Right
about
now.
the part where Ingrid shows Emma, or not shows Emma the adoption papers, but talks about how she wants to adopt Emma and saying, you know, I don't expect you to think of me as a mother, but at least a big sister to you.
That's
That was a
exactly
sweet
what she
moment.
wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was.
And it parallels what she wants now is sister's love.
Yeah, but you know, now in Storybook, going through all the curse and whatnot, this is an evil, more manipulative plan. But knowing that in her past she was more genuine, she just wanted a genuine love and family and affection in that relationship aspect, made me feel for Ingrid more so than all the other episodes that we've seen.
Yeah. So during that claw game at the carnival, I don't know if any of you noticed, but what she won, what Emma
Dalmatian.
won, Dalmatian.
Dalmatian.
So it seemed like that was some foreshadowing with Pongo, maybe 101 Dalmatians.
Cruella, for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure. I was like, oh, look, it's a Dalmatian, guys. And then the ring, I don't know. It was just like a mood ring, but it reminded me of My Girl. So I don't know. Because, you know, Veda had one of the mood rings.
Yeah.
And I couldn't connect it to a Disney movie, so I went with My Girl.
That works.
I don't know.
I loved mood rings back the 90s.
I think we all did, but they were
rings
always
are so
blue for
cool.
me. I was like, do I not have a personality or something?
You didn't need a ring to tell you that.
Oh, snap.
I'll give you a knuckle sandwich later.
I don't think they were very like accurate about moods most of the time. I think it just like decided to change color sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe you
Yeah.
had a faulty one.
Yeah.
I did, because I'm personable. Damn it.
Or isn't blue like always happy?
I think so.
So that's good.
yeah, I'm not always
It's a
happy
good
though.
thing. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So then Ingrid, or during this interaction playing the claw game, Emma, we think it's Emma, sparks something in the game, and then Ingrid shares a lesson with her. Later on, Ingrid then tries to bring out Emma's powers. She basically thrusts her in front of a moving car, and Emma ends up calling Ingrid a nut job after running away instead of using her powers. And
I mean, that
runs
was
away.
a crazy moment, and
yeah.
I would totally run away from my mom too. She did that to me.
I mean, it was kind of crazy, but I would kind of, this scene going down, it made me think, did Emma always had her powers at that time? I mean, her powers seem very dormant, and we've seen it more active in the last couple seasons, but even then, at a younger age,
Wow.
not knowing that she was part of a magical family, it had to be there.
Like in Harry Potter, he didn't get his powers until later on, which they mentioned tonight. What other things? Sabrina the Teenage Witch didn't
Yeah.
get her powers
Yeah.
until she was 16. It seemed like Regina didn't really get her powers until later on as well. And Cora too.
And well,
You have to come
they also
into your powers,
train-
yeah.
And one thing Ingrid said was that she had a traumatic experience that brought out her powers. And so that's what she was kind of trying to do for Emma in that moment.
It's a trigger.
It's like triggering the magic to get that out there sooner rather than later. Cause
That was like just so bad because she completely messed up their relationship. Emma ran away, so she's like, all right, I gotta go to Storybrook and wait for her to come here. It's
I mean,
just,
but she was
bad choice.
She had already been waiting so long for Emma to just, you know,
She was
get
there.
there.
She was like
you
right
know,
there.
she rushed it a little bit. She got a little too excited
Yes.
and
Right.
jumped the gun on the play.
a little bit.
What do you think of their relationship, that Emma and Ingrid back then?
I mean, I think if you know, if a car hitting you is one option, you know, I think Ingrid blew it. I think she tried to jump the gun a little too much in that scenario. Now she's got to wait another 10 years before she's gonna have another crack at it. I think she jumped the gun a bit too early.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of Once Upon a Time prior to joining the show?
You know, I'd only seen it like a couple of times first season. I was doing another show that this one kind of was supposed to premiere with or something, and we were like, oh, this could be like a sister show or something.
Yeah.
So we watched it in the first season, and I was like, oh, this is probably gonna like go for 8 years, or it seems like something like everyone wants to watch. But my family are huge fans. Like, my mom and my sisters, they love it, and my nieces and nephews all love it. So when I got this gig, I was obviously,
that's amazing.
You're pretty popular.
Oh yeah, I went up a bunch of notches in the family with this gig. Yeah.
What was your mom's reaction when she found out?
She was probably the most excited one. Yeah. Because she's like, "Oh, I want to meet Hook. I want to come to set and meet Hook." So yeah, she was absolutely thrilled to hear that I got this job.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So last flashback that we have is 2 years prior to this current curse. It's when the Snow Queen finally makes it to Storybrook, or not finally makes it to Storybrook. We have the timeline now where she went to Storybrook waiting for Emma, opened up an ice cream shop of all things, and Emma walks into the ice cream shop finally, tells Henry to wait outside, which I thought was very clever because obviously younger Henry versus what he's aged into now as an actor. They couldn't really do anything with that. But the Snow Queen, or Emma, recognizes Ingrid when she walks in there. The Snow Queen ends up having to take her memories and essentially pretend like they had never met before.
I have a question. Do you guys think that Ingrid knew who Henry was while she was camped out in Storybrook waiting for Emma to get there? Like, did she know that Henry was Emma's son?
Oh, good question. She probably learned through town gossip at some point, but she might not have known prior to Emma coming to Storybrook that she was Henry's mother.
Okay. I was just throwing that out there as just another thought of, was she watching Henry for, those 10 years or however long Henry was there waiting for Emma to get there too?
When you think about it, she's a bit of a creep.
Yeah, I mean, she is.
She is watching people.
She's definitely watching people from the corner, dark corner, like, I
creepy.
See you.
Yeah.
She sells carrot sherbet. What is that?
Nasty is what
No one ever ordered it.
Because that's where she hid the memory.
Exactly. Not getting to the bottom of that barrel.
Yeah. Should we talk about Rumple and Hook now?
Sure.
Okay.
I love talking about Hook.
And Rumple.
We should get your mom in it.
Yeah, she's gonna be watching this right now.
Call in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Rumple, back to being evil again this season, has this plan to get Belle and Henry out of Storybrook. He's still using Hook, and we realize that there are very few people in Storybrook who were not affected by this curse. Emma, Elsa, Anna, because it's like chickenpox and you can't get it twice, and Hook, because he doesn't have a heart.
Which, shout out to like all the fans last week who were like tweeting and writing on YouTube about that. They're like, Hook shouldn't be affected because he doesn't have a heart. I never thought of that.
Yeah,
like, he's missing a heart. He's not going to be affected by a spell that's going into your eye.
Yeah, and I thought it was very convenient that only a select few people were very exempt from this curse. I was like, that's convenient in a way, because only those people were the ones who can help reverse everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still want to know, I feel like there was one caveat that Rumple had told Ingrid she had to incorporate in the curse, and I don't know if we ever saw that come to fruition.
Which part?
Wasn't there? Remember when they made a deal a couple weeks back?
I thought it was to spare Belle and Henry.
Oh.
Or let him take Belle and Henry out of town with him because he'd already made the deal that he got to leave Storybrook once she took over.
Got it.
Now he can take other people with him.
You should have asked for more. But
that's all he needs.
I know.
It's his wifey and his grandson.
But what would he need Henry for?
I think that it's because that's the last piece of...
That's the question.
No, but that's his blood relative. That's the only thing that he has left of Neil.
Yeah, I think quite simply it's
heir,
grandson.
but also there could be an ulterior motive to keeping Henry around.
I
Not
don't know,
just because blood related.
I just think Henry's not very useful right now for
He's the most innocent.
I think that if he had taken Belle and Henry out of Storybrook and said that he tried to save as many people as possible, Belle would have said, you should have saved Henry first. Like, she would have sacrificed herself for someone who is younger and more innocent.
Save the children.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Do you guys think that if his plan had worked out and he had made it out of town with Belle and Henry, that they would have bought the story that he tried to save everyone.
No.
And
He's
those
powerful
were the
enough
only
where he
two.
can alter their memories.
But like,
Yeah, but
I think eventually they would have to find out, right? Because good always conquers evil. Ah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm pissed at Rumple.
Yeah.
he should be. He's acting out and he's
You're a
affecting
man.
my
I mean,
hook. So
he's had so
having
many
problems.
opportunities, and yet he keeps backstabbing people, even his wifey. That's messed up.
I mean, just give Hook his heart back already.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
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 You
Okay.
don't need him. You don't need to kill him.
Well, it
Didn't
seems
work
like
anyways.
the stars are going to align soon, and he will be able to separate himself from the dagger.
Did anyone think Hercules at that moment? The stars aligning, the planets align, and then
Yeah,
they can
Greek
release the
mythology.
Titans. The Disney reference. The Disney movie, particularly.
They always incorporate those.
They had to. Shout
Maybe
out to
we'll get-
Hercules.
Maybe we'll get a Hercules.
Get
You said that
Hercules
you want Greek
and Meg.
mythology.
Yes,
Yes.
I want them all.
Yeah.
There's
I'd
just
be a
so
happy
many-
chick.
There's just so many things that they can do with the show like this that it's like every door is just wide open. Anything can happen.
Princess Tiana.
Yeah, Princess Tiana. I've been saying this for a while. If they're looking for someone to play her, I'm available.
Okay.
Like, my name's already Tiana.
Can you put her
I'll
name in the
whisper.
hat?
I'll
Yeah.
go whisper to some people.
Yeah, just
Don't
let
worry.
some people know.
I got you.
You know?
I got
That's the stuff,
Yeah,
you know?
you got it.
How close are you with Eddie and
Adam.
Eddie and Adam. I mean, we know each other. That's about it.
Speed dial,
Not quite on speed dial level, but
you
you know.
can tweet at them that you
I
have
could
the
tweet
perfect
them.
girl.
Oh, exactly. I could definitely
Tiana.
tweet at them.
Okay.
Cool.
There you
I
go.
could definitely
Thanks
tweet
so
them.
much.
You're welcome.
And tell them that I'm not a psycho because, I tweet at them a lot too. So they'll be like, oh, she's blacklisted.
No, I'm sure they get plenty of people tweeting about the show to them directly.
Oh my gosh.
So
I
don't
can't even
think-
imagine.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people like this show.
Have you noticed that people, maybe not so much with your character because Kristoff is such a nice and sweet guy most of the time.
Not tonight.
Yeah, not tonight, but most of the time.
Yeah.
But do you find that people are tweeting at you like angry with you over your character's actions?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not like you said, not necessarily this because it's always like. I mean, that's you see, but shows like this, the villains are on social media vilified as if they themselves, the actual person, are bad people.
Yeah.
You know, and then the people that are supposed to be the good love interest, like Hook and Prince Charming, they're you're the sweetest people, and you don't know them. They could really be bad people. They're not, but you don't know them. It's like they take the characters and the actors themselves and they make one thing, and then
They are both.
They are both, exactly. And they think that, like Scott Michael Foster is Kristoff.
Yeah.
And,
Why didn't you marry Anna when
I
you were in the
know,
box
I
and
know,
about to die?
I know.
I don't
Yeah.
understand.
yeah, and they think that was my choice. Like, Scott, why didn't you let her marry you? I'm like, I didn't. It wasn't me.
I read the words that were on the script.
I know, they give me stuff and I have to recite it. Yeah, exactly.
I'm an actor. I don't think for myself.
I
right?
don't. I really don't. Someone else thinks for me. And that's
the
how it
best
works.
job
That's
ever.
easy.
So finishing up our topic on Rumple and Hook, Hook goes to get Henry as per Rumple's request. And Henry has set up marbles a la Home Alone on the floor.
I totally felt that too. I was like,
And then,
wow.
and then with Emma's foster kid guy being Kevin, that's
Kevin.
That was the name of the kid in Home Alone. And I was like, oh my god, Kevin! And then the
It's
marbles, and I
Christmas,
was like,
too.
oh my gosh, it's Christmas. Everyone's
Christmas.
watching this right now.
Very smart.
Yeah, Home Alone.
I
Great
don't
movie.
think they got that reference, but
Oh, Kevin. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, duh.
Come on.
okay.
He's stealing a video camera. Like, he was basically the kid from Home Alone. Mm-hmm. Just saying.
So we get a glimpse of Will versus Hook when Henry escapes, which I thought was one of the funniest moments of this episode.
It really was. And I like how earlier, too, we saw Will just, like, hovering over, like, a body. Like,
Yeah, what was he
pickpocketing.
doing there?
I don't know
Yeah,
what he was doing there.
But it was totally his character to take advantage of the situation just to keep being a thief and stealing
Yeah.
all these petty things.
Sly little fox.
Yep.
That kid. But I loved, too, when Hook was talking to Henry, and Henry was going off about how he didn't want to go anywhere with the dirty pirate. Yeah. And that he hates him, especially now that he's together with his mom.
Wait,
and
did Emma say that we were
did
together?
Emma say we were together?
Yeah,
Like,
so funny.
I was like, yes, Hook, fight for your woman, even without your heart. Hooker
great.
for life.
So yeah, let's continue talking about present day Storybrook. We see the dwarves all going after each other, one with a crossbow.
It's all
Poor
pretty
Happy
funny,
was
pretty
not
funny stuff.
happy.
No,
Happy.
That was
definitely
hysterical.
not.
Grumpy was just more grumpy.
We see David and Mary Margaret going at each other in jail, just saying nasty, nasty things to each other.
Who was more royal? Whatnot.
Yeah, that actually hurt my heart a little bit, only because they're Snow White and Prince Charming.
Supposed to be true love.
Yeah, it's true love. There's not supposed to be any anger or like hostility, but
But the fact that they brought up Will, that's a little low.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, we're gonna bring up everything. Oh, nothing's unsafe.
Yeah.
No.
Although in the scope of things, they weren't all that awful.
No.
No.
It just was
just
it
verbal.
was like the stuff that, married couples probably are thinking.
But
and it's
wouldn't
like all
actually
those
say.
it's all those fights that they've had and all that pent up anger coming out in one single moment, and it's like, oh, well, you don't brush your hair right.
Yeah.
It was like that kind of small petty
Yeah.
things, but it's still just like, oh, I don't want to watch them fight.
It's like those fights when two non-confrontational people end up just blowing up at each other and bring up everything from 10 years ago.
We had to do in those scenes specifically because when we were shooting as if we got the curse hitting us all of a sudden, we had to shoot those scenes with different takes because a lot of us didn't shoot on the same time. So we didn't know how like crazy we were gonna play it.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, do one like really over the top, and do one where you're like just sort of peeved, and then do one where it's like you said, like you're in a fighting with your girlfriend, things you would never say
Yeah.
but think.
Yeah.
So we had to we did takes that were all like different ways.
Was that fun then as an actor to play like, I guess, the
Yeah.
same scene 10 different ways?
Yeah, I mean, because obviously sometimes, especially in TV, you can like do it 2 times and then move on. But
Yeah.
like they were like, all right, now try it where you're like really crazy, and then we did that. Like, all right, that's a little too crazy. Bring it down, do it like this. So it was actually fun, and I was sort of waiting to see how it was all cut together and see how what they chose, and it looked pretty even across the board. Everyone kind of reacted. Obviously, Regina was a little nuts. But
That was the best thing, Regina.
yeah,
And
and her outfit.
her obnoxious
missed her.
outfit. Loved it.
Yeah.
Is it a multi-cam shoot, or is it just one?
Well, I mean, it's technically considered a single camera,
Okay.
but we have 2 cameras
Okay.
that do.
Simultaneously.
Yeah. It's not like we've got
Just one camera.
The Big Bang Theory with like it's all live on like that. But,
No
yeah.
sitcom.
No sitcom.
So, I mean, I know that most of your scenes are actually in front of green screen, right?
Yeah, a lot of
them. How is that different for you as an actor from shooting something on location?
I mean, I can understand why people think, that it might be a little, not easier, but I mean, especially in Vancouver when you're shooting in the elements, you're shooting in, it's like all of a sudden raining and
Cold year round.
Yeah, it's cold, and then in the wintertime you've only got 9 hours of light instead of a full 14 hours of light like you have in the summer and stuff.
Yeah.
So being on a green screen, you can just continually shoot all the time. So I get that on the production side it's easy, but from an actor's point of view, it's a little weird because you're acting in a green box. And all you have is some props, but mostly everything's green, so you don't really know what it feels like to be in the world. And then you see it and you're like, oh, that's what that room looks like. Oh, that's what that table looks like,
Do they give you ideas of what it will look like at the end, or?
Well, they do, like on the some cameras will actually have a fairly rendered version of the CGI. So you can actually, they'll say, oh, hey, and you can actually move the cameras and you can see it all move on screen. They're only looking at green, but you can see it on the monitor here that it looks like, what it's close to what it's going to be. I mean, it's not good. It's like someone drew it real fast and it looks, simple, but at the end, when you see it all said and done, it looks really nice.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
yeah.
This is when we finally see Kristoff, this scene, in the jail, handcuffed up, and he's saying some very mean things to Anna.
Right. Yeah, he's saying that he probably shouldn't have cut his hair. That's probably what he was saying.
And questioning
Probably.
if that was his only bad choice.
Right, exactly.
Or if he wants to deal with her crazy family and,
Yeah.
her delaying the wedding.
Yeah.
It's just not the usual lovable Kristoff that, we all know from, TV and the movie.
Exactly.
It's very kind of hard to watch.
Yeah. So I think we have a caller. Do we?
Sean, do
Sean?
we have a caller?
Hello.
Keaton, is that
Hey ladies.
you? Hi.
Keaton.
Everyone, this is Keaton Markey. You guys know her from
Fill-in
AfterBuzz.
host.
Fill-in
Yes,
host for
fill-in.
Once Upon a Time sometimes. Keaton, do you have a
Yes,
couple
I had-
questions for...
I had to call in tonight because you guys started talking about Hook, and obviously Scott's there tonight, and so I'm very jealous I can't be in the studio.
So what did you want to ask?
So I wanted to ask about the kind of casting process for this, because obviously these Frozen characters were such a big deal. Did they kind of bring you guys in and do chemistry reads with you guys? Because kind of all three of you are so important, and you are so iconic.
Yeah, no, not at all. I can't speak for the girls, but I think we all read once. But no, I mean I read for it once, and I think I was cast off that first initial.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
read for it once, and I had hair like this, it was short, and they were just like, yeah, sure, you. And I was like, all right, great. So we went up there, and I think the same thing happened for the girls too. I remember being like, I'm the only one who doesn't look exactly like the people from the movie. Like, if you look at those girls, they look just like. I think they were just like, and sure, Scott, get in here, and you be Kristoff. That was, I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't like there was a big screen test or chemistry read or anything like that.
So was it a wig?
No, it was my hair.
That's your real hair?
I know. Yeah. We had a wig when I first got there, but it was like everyone was kind of like doing the big final push before production started, and I guess they were a little behind, and the wig just didn't look right. It just didn't look good, and they were like, "Well, we shoot in 4 hours, so we either try and make this wig look right, or we dye your hair." And my hair was really, really short at the time. Like, it was dye blonde. I don't know if you remember the first episode. It was much shorter than it is now.
Yeah.
We dyed my hair, and we were like, I guess we'll just go with that. So.
Have you ever dyed your hair before?
Yeah, I mean, I
You had frosted tips.
yeah. Let's say, you knew exactly where I was going with that. I was in middle school in the 90s, so I had frosted tips.
Is there photographic evidence of this?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure people can Google this
Where's
right
your
now.
mom?
Yeah.
This is why we need her on the show.
She's got it. Both my parents have plenty of photos of her. So, yeah, you'd see it.
Keaton, did you have any other questions?
Oh my gosh, let me see. Hold up. I wrote things down when I was like watching. No, but I think the carrot ice cream was a reference to Olaf because we don't get to see him.
So smart.
Yeah.
And I think Henry's gonna grow into his magic because I know you guys were like all talking about kind of how you grow into your magic and you have to reach a certain age. So I think Henry's obviously gonna be magical at some point, but. Yeah. I don't know. Scott, what were those scenes like that you had to film? Were you really in kind of a very tight quarters when you guys were kind of filming those scenes where you were in a box?
Yeah.
Or were you were?
We were in a box. Yes, we were. We were in a box. And I tell you what, it was basically a really large, like maybe 6 foot by 6 foot water tank. It was plexiglass, and then they had a box inside that. Right? So you get in the water tank, and then you get in. They take the walls out. You get in the box, and then they seal it up.
So you're actually floating.
Well, but the water tank, they can raise and lower the water level.
Yeah.
Which so you saw the water line getting higher.
Yeah.
Well, the end when we're this far from the top of the box, they wanted it to look really like we were right at the line, so they put the top on and they raised the water while we're in there. So we were like this, and then like the magic happens and it started bubbling. They had bubbles going through, and they were like, now we're turning around, we're getting all crazy, so spin around. And so we started spinning around, and then we realized like we can't breathe anymore because the bubbles are bubbling to all the way to the top, and we were screaming. Like, we were like, okay, take Take the lid off though, because we could drown. We could literally drown in here. So it was that was real stuff you were saying. That wasn't just.
That's not acting.
Do they have you sign a waiver for that?
No, just shoot it and get out of there.
That's crazy.
How long did it take to film that?
That was like 5-6 hours, I think.
Wow, that's a long time.
The last half of the day.
Cold.
Yeah.
Well, it was. I think it was like 90-degree water, so it was.
So it was like taking a bath.
It was like taking a
hot
bath.
tub.
Yeah, hot
We
tub.
had to pretend to be, cold.
So that's where the acting
good
came in.
acting.
Got
Yeah.
it.
The fear was real, though.
The fear was real. So you can add that to your resume, just.
I can do fear.
Special skills.
You just have to trap me in a box and crank the water up. Yeah.
Well, Keaton, thank you so much for calling in. I hope you feel better. I heard you were sick.
For letting me call in.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So back to this episode. I know we have a short amount of time, but we learn that this was actually a tale. I think Anna is the one who points out it's an old tale. The Trollmere or
The
broken?
Trolled in
glass
something.
curse.
Yeah.
But we've heard of this story before
yes.
in previous episode.
And the only way, or in the story, the way that the curse was broken was by killing the king. So in this, the only way to undo this curse is to kill the Snow Queen, potentially. Emma ends up leaving baby Neil, with Anna. And Regina seals herself in the vault. We see her just going crazy by herself. Emma and Elsa can't hurt the Snow Queen when they go to, where did they go? Her little...
They went...
The ice place? I don't even know what it's
Ice
called.
Palace.
The Ice Palace, yeah.
Her ice cave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That place.
That scene when they were trying to take the ribbons off, though, in Gold Shop was hilarious. And they can't. So they need Regina's hatred to get the ribbons off. They go to the vault. Emma undoes the protection curse on the vault. They go inside and just enrage Regina enough so that she uses her magic, hold up their wrists, and voila. The ribbons are off.
The hatred outweighs the love.
Yeah.
To break off the...
That kind of got dark. And I'm glad how they executed it, because I thought it had to be like the internal hatred from Emma and Elsa. I was like, I don't want to see them go dark in that way just to get him off. So I'm glad that they used an external force who was dark at that time.
Yeah.
Very smart.
That seems super easy, though.
Yeah, I was
was
with you,
easy.
Kathy, right there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like,
But was it
perfect
like a
time.
magnet? Were the ribbons like a magnet to her fiery magic stuff? How about that? Because I was like, if I ever have to go up against Regina, I'm just gonna stick my wrist up. You know what I mean?
There you
I feel like this. It'll focus all right here,
Well, I
and
guess
then
that makes sense the way that they were describing it, because it's the most positive force versus the most negative force.
exactly. Boom.
Magnets.
We figured it out.
You're so smart.
Hey, I read the scripts.
So Regina, after Emma and Elsa leave, Regina heads straight to the jail. She sends Kristoff and Anna back to where they came from, which ends up being the beach and the box, which is where we see Anna finds the bottle as Kristoff is just
trying to swim back to Arendelle. Really, dude?
yeah, that was intense.
I don't even
like-
know if he can swim,
Yeah,
to be honest.
I mean, I don't even know where
Nice effort.
Arendelle is in consideration to Storybrook. So
Like,
you're
where
just
is
gonna
it on
be
the map?
swimming for years.
It's like another realm. I don't
Yeah.
even think he can do it. He's just so blind rage.
Yeah.
He does, he's sick of it.
He wants to get back to Sven.
so from blind rage to being unconscious
Yeah.
on the beach.
Like that.
Waltz you
thing.
over the head
Yeah.
with sugar glass bottle.
It's real glass.
Oh.
It's real glass.
So you are going method there.
Yeah, I went method on that one. I said I want a glass bottle.
It really was unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went straight to sleep.
You said that was shot at like 3 a.m, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was like a split day. So we shot some daytime stuff, and then we have to wait for the sun to set and then do nighttime stuff, and then we got out like 3-something in the morning.
Yikes.
3:30.
Awesome.
How long were the days typically?
Well, that's the thing. Like in the summer, we started in July. The days in Vancouver are like sun up at 5:18, sunset at 10 p.m.
Oh, wow.
So,
Beautiful.
I mean, think about how long that day is. You have
Yeah.
16 hours of light to shoot in, or more.
Yeah.
And then when we left a month ago, the sun up wasn't until 8 something, and it would set by 4:30.
Wow.
So, you had a much shorter day. So thinking about, they had to schedule around that, which is I don't know how they do it, because I'm like, well, not only that, but like, what if it's overcast? What if it rains? Like, how do you... But luckily, there's only a couple of days that we have to shoot outside for episodes, so...
You have a really good production coordinator
Yeah,
then.
we sure do. Yeah.
Keeping on top of everything. So, yeah, you're unconscious. Anna finds the letter, reads it, and then leaves you on the page.
Yeah.
Which you remain for the rest of the
Yeah.
For at least a week in
Yeah.
our world.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah.
Kristoff's very forgiving because your fiance knocked you out with a glass bottle,
Yeah.
and I know we didn't get to see you again this episode, but I'm assuming everything works out still.
You're assuming I get up and
Yeah.
what happened
Gets up.
there, find my way
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
Stumble your way
Curse
back
is over
to
by
town.
then.
Exactly.
So back in the jail, Regina and Snow are battling.
That was awesome.
Epic. Crazy.
That sword fight, though? That was
Right?
awesome.
That was awesome. Real fight.
So, yeah, they're duking it out. And then the Snow Queen, she has memories back to her ice castle or whatever it is, not castle. She has memories of love from Emma and Elsa, and she wants to restore them. And she says that's how they will learn to love her again. We know that you can't create love. You can't wish it. It can't be... it can't magically appear, but she says that if there was love that existed for someone, you can bring it back. They both,
Loophole.
in the moment, hesitate to kill her, even though that's the only thing that can undo the curse. And then
I think Emma was very close to being like, I'll do it. And then that's when Anna comes in.
Yes.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
right.
on the cusp
Yeah.
of it.
Emma was like, whatever.
I think
But
she
we-
even said that. She's
Yep.
like, I don't have a problem. And
Yep.
then, like, Anna
Yeah.
bursts in
Yeah.
and does that. Yeah.
But we know that, good doesn't kill people. Good people don't kill people.
Snow White killed someone.
That is
Yeah.
true.
She reminded everybody that
Emma's the
tonight.
savior. She's not going to kill people.
And what if you kill someone in self-defense?
Then that's a different story.
Yeah. Or defending other people, which technically this would have
Like
been.
a whole town full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, especially when someone has a crossbow to another person's head and everyone's
Granny
about
was
to kill each
scared with
other.
her crossbow.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Granny's intense at all times.
She's like, don't cross me.
Don't cross. Was that a joke? Unintentional. Pun
Totally.
intentional.
Pun.
Ooh.
So this all culminates with Anna bringing the letter to Elsa and Emma. Gerda wrote this whole letter about being wrong about concealing Elsa's powers. She was wrong about how she felt towards Ingrid. And she says that she left a crystal with the people of Arendelle's memories. She wants them all restored so that everyone can remember the three sisters, how they were before everything happened. This prompts Ingrid to reverse this spell by essentially killing herself.
It's kind of sad, this moment.
That moment, yeah.
It was sad. But, it was also, we kind of knew that was going to happen. But the fact that she now has what she always wanted was just her sister's love. That was very sweet.
And I actually like this ending for the Snow Queen better because we've seen so many of the bad people get reformed into good people, and then, like Rumple and, well, he's gone back, and Regina, but we have them already, and they're already, like, struggling with their evilness, so I didn't want to see another person who's like, oh, I'm evil, and now I'm good again. Like, I'm glad that this kind of, she's very fulfilled, and she just goes away.
Yeah, it was a good way to
That
end it.
self-reflection.
Yeah,
that's
it's like that self-reflection.
I
and
became
it's
a
like-
monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she accepts it, and then she sacrifices herself for the good of everyone,
Which is great
and goes to be
redemption.
with her sisters.
She became a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, good. We're done with her.
Yeah.
Everyone goes back to normal. Storybrook is okay again.
And now it's just regular snowing.
Yes.
Which I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fresh start.
So is the ice wall gone too, or no? Is that still up?
I would think it's going to be gone.
That's going to melt really
Yeah.
fast,
Tidal wave into Storybrook.
though. Flooding.
Yeah. So anything else we want to talk about from this episode in particular?
Well, there's the whole what's Gold up to, because he
Yeah.
told
True,
Hook, don't worry, I'll let Emma and Storybrook be okay, but the rest of the world better watch out. I don't know what that means, but it sounds dangerous.
Yeah, he's
Very
evil
ominous.
now. Completely.
Yeah, he is.
Tisk, tisk.
Hook's not, though.
He's gonna. I think he might kill or try to kill Hook. Like,
Hook's not dying.
Tiana's not
Because I
gonna
said
let
so.
him.
And because
I
you're-
will not let.
Yeah, and because your mom and I will get together and we will
Exactly.
go up to
Petition.
Vancouver and we will make
You'll
some
make a
things happen.
petition.
Yeah,
at
we'll make a
least.
petition.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's
Crazy.
not serious.
Although in true Once Upon a Time fashion, I'm sure another person will die before the end of this.
But now some people have to realize that the fairies are missing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get those fairies back.
And what happened to Marion? Is she unfrozen now?
yeah, that's true. Hopefully we'll figure it out.
Oh, maybe because
even
the
if she
Ice
was
Queen is
frozen, she
gone.
wasn't affected by the curse. So she.
But
Yeah,
now
she
that the
still
Snow
won't know what
Queen-
happened.
Yeah, but
I
now
know,
that the Snow
but-
Queen's gone, shouldn't her magic be gone? So her heart.
But
her-
Regina still has her
everything-
heart.
Regina has her heart, but she should be unfrozen.
So it's
Yeah.
reversed. Is
yeah,
what
it
you're
should
saying.
start getting reversed.
But Regina still has her heart.
That
So
will be
she's got a
interesting.
melted heart now.
What?
Marion's heart's melted,
Maybe
and
just
Regina's
Her
little.
body would be melted. I don't know.
No, her heart's not frozen.
Oh
'cause
right,
her
her
body's
body's
defrosting.
frozen.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
body's frozen.
So she's thawed out with no heart.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She's like Hook.
Yeah.
Ah,
It's intense.
maybe they should get together.
Oh no,
Yeah. No.
no,
That's
No.
crazy talk.
no.
So is Hook and Emma. It's great talk.
No.
Great talk.
No.
I like it.
It's actually perfect.
So, we have a lot of questions for you before we wrap up.
Yes.
I know you can't give away too much. This is a very secretive, top secret show. But we did want to talk about. So Keaton actually brought up the casting process earlier. How did you get called in? It was just typical.
Yeah, just regular. We have an appointment for you, and I was like, I knew obviously this show was very popular, and they were doing the Frozen storyline, which I've got 6 nieces and nephews, so I know how popular.
You're very versed.
I
yeah.
know how big Frozen is right now. So I was I knew that this would be a big recurring arc for anybody who does it. So I was excited to read for it, and I didn't know if I was going to be right for it or not. I feel like the ones that I end up booking are the ones I'm like, I didn't think I was going to get that. And it ended up working, and it was a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it.
So they did tell you prior to going in that it was for Kristoff.
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. It was. I mean, yeah. You read.
Yeah.
In fact, the scenes that we read were not. They must have done rewrites because they were not. They were definitely original, scenes, but they weren't from the movie, and they weren't. And they didn't end up being in the show. So I don't know.
Maybe
if
they just
wrote-
put something together.
I guess. I mean, it must have been. Because writers are so they're always a bit behind, and doing scripts up to the last minute. So
Yeah.
and this was weeks before we started shooting. So
Yeah.
I wonder if they just wrote something for, the audition process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably also don't want actors taking home their sides and then
It could be. I
leaking
mean,
it or
leaking.
something.
but usually they use dummy sides, which are like scenes from movies that we know. Sometimes they do that.
Oh,
where
really?
they'd be like, you'll be doing like a scene from Armageddon, and you're like, this is not new. I mean,
But then how do they know that you're right for that character?
trust me, it's
just
confusing
know.
and it's frustrating
Well,
sometimes.
with this, I guess it's mostly how you look. You have to look the role, obviously.
Yeah, which I don't think. I mean, I walked in there with short hair and it wasn't blonde, and we were like,
I don't know. I think some of it too goes with like the personality, because when I read the casting that you were going to be playing Kristoff, I was like, oh, that's perfect in my mind, just because knowing you from Greek and other
Right.
things, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, Kristoff's like the fun, like happy
Yeah.
guy, and I was like, this is going to be great.
Well, you know what? The first thing that happened when they were, they announced it online is they put there was a lot of fans that were putting photos of me during Greek when I had my long hair up against a picture of, and they were finding the right angle where I was looking just the same way, and they were like, it's perfect, it's a match made in heaven, and then I think when it came out, they were like, why is his hair short? But I mean, yeah, I think ultimately it ended up, I think maybe I had the right personality for it, so we'll see. I don't know. Do you guys like it?
Yes.
yes.
Of course.
Is there anything from the Frozen movies that you wish had happened in your storyline?
I never got to do anything. Not that this was like a, you know, I don't know. I never got to do anything with the rock trolls. You know, and that was a huge part of Kristoff's storyline. I mean, I was glad I got to do a lot of stuff with Sven because that was, you know, that was the main part of his storyline. I never got to do anything with the rock trolls, which was supposed to be his family. We talk about it a lot, but I didn't actually go and get to work with little CGI boulders. Yeah. So, I mean, I would have loved to explore that, but, you know, you can't say that they, you know, won't bring us back for another season. You know, who
we would love that.
Well,
yeah,
we'll see.
Friends in other realms.
Yeah.
You never know what's gonna happen.
I mean, they have brought back like Aurora, Prince Philip, bunch
Maleficent.
of people. Yep.
Who, you know, she was gone for 2 seasons,
Yeah.
and now she's coming back. So.
And this seems like a show that is going to be on air a very long time.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
So I'd say just don't go cutting your hair again.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you might get called back.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe we'll go with a wig next time.
Yeah. Get that wig in order.
And you guys have a happy ending from, you know, the movies and what seems like the storyline that they're panning out in this season.
Right.
So I was like, I'm glad that like your character and that Frozen character's story arc is coming like kind of full circle.
Right. Yeah. No, I think everyone will watch next week. You know, on our big sort of story finale and see what happens with us then, and hopefully everyone will enjoy it. You know.
Yeah. Cool. How did you originally get into acting? No, that's way back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, when did I know I wanted to do it, or how did I like kind of get started here in LA?
You said because you're from.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from like the Midwest and Dallas, and I think you know, early on, I started doing plays at like my church, and then I started doing plays in middle school, and then I think in high school I kind of was like, I think this is what I'm going to do. So I did a lot of theater in Dallas, and then I graduated high school early and moved out to LA when I was like 18. So I just kind of got the ball rolling then. It was just a slow progression. It was like, wow, maybe I don't think I can do anything else with my life. I think this is the only thing I can do. You know?
And your family was supportive.
Yeah, they were great. I mean, honestly, I think I had a lot of good people. My parents and my uncle who lives here who like put me up for a year. And,
really?
Yeah, helped me get.
That's an easier transition.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, trust me, I don't know if it would have been possible if I had not, because you know, it was tough, but I mean, it's probably still tough for anyone now who doesn't have the help that I had. You know, I mean, it's
Do you remember the first thing you booked?
I just remember trying to get into the union. I couldn't get into the union. It was like, you know, you had to have vouchers to join SAG, but if you weren't, you know, SAG, you couldn't get vouchers, you know. So it was like a, you know, it was,
what is it? Taft-Hartley?
A catch-22?
Catch-22.
Oh, well, yeah, but
yeah, it was catch-22. But yeah, so I ended up getting Taft-Hartley in a commercial. It was a Ford commercial, and it was like, I didn't speak or anything, but it was just like, you know, I walked and was like, oh, I like that car, and you know, that was it. You know, walking by as if I wanted to buy a Ford truck or something, and that was the first thing I booked, and I was like, I can do it. So that was thank you.
The beginning of an amazing career.
Exactly.
Yeah, look where you are
Ford
now.
commercial.
I can schlock some Fords.
Any other questions?
No, I loved your character and how you portrayed him throughout this whole season, and you brought a new interpretation to like the human version that we all can kind of know and love as well.
Thank you. Thanks.
Do you think that with Frozen 2 coming out, do you think that, I don't know, like, will you try to be involved, like, with that in any way?
I don't think that I don't know. I can't imagine that I would be involved in that in any sort of way.
I'm sure the nieces and nephews would want you to at least go to the premiere.
Or take them. Take them to the premiere.
Right. I'll have to. Don't set me up for these things. I can't promise. All right. I'll try. I don't know if I can.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much.
This was so much fun.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we are very excited to see what happens next week, even though we can't talk about it.
Please tune in.
So I guess that moves us along to news and gossip.
Yes.
We have some.
AFTERBUZZ
Do you want to go
TV
first, Marissa, or do
News.
you want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right, I just have one quick thing. Jennifer Morrison, wow. got a frog in my throat, did an interview with Entertainment Weekly, and they were just talking about how fans are kind of upset with like the excess of curses that keep hitting Storybrook, and like why people are still, you know, living there if it's just like one curse after the next. And I liked her explanation because it actually made me think of it in a different way too. She said, I see curses and spells and all the crises that come our way as
representationally.
Yeah. Of the things that come our way that are hard in life. Illness, death, exams, fights with loved ones, breakups, etc. So she says to all the people who say that they're crazy for not leaving Storybrook, she said that's like saying we're crazy in real life. In real life, stuff comes your way, and you have to find a way to survive and deal with it. So it's like, you know, in that context, it makes more sense that like people are not just running for the border and trying to get out of there. It's like, hey, in life, shit happens, and you got to deal with it. And this is their real life.
That's Storybrook's version of like a natural disaster.
Yeah.
That happens every year.
I mean, usually I don't have people trying to kill me every year, but
you know,
as far as you know.
But it's like
this is still for that personality. Seriously,
I'll show you personality.
someone holds a grudge.
snipers.
getting heated.
Girl fight. Should we get the swords out, Regina?
Your news and gossip.
Yeah, in you know the context of Frozen's storyline still going on, I met our own very own Frozen character today.
Oh, so cool.
For those listening on iTunes, you should definitely check out the video. Our very own Keaton Markey, who just called in, also dresses up like Elsa.
Looks great.
So
She looks like a good Elsa. I know at first she was like, why would I be Elsa? I should be an Anna. But no, girl, you are an Elsa.
she is totally Elsa. So it was fun. I was like, I found Elsa.
Nice.
He's not in there now.
That's
So I had to show that.
Yeah. So that moves us along to predictions. One episode left until the mid-season finale. One episode left of Scott Nancy Foster.
Scott Nancy Foster.
Your AFTERBUZZ TV prediction.
So it looks like we are getting the evil trio.
I love that.
This is gonna be awesome. Instead of just one baddie, it's 3. Hopefully all at the same time.
Yeah.
Who are you most excited for of the 3? Obviously, we've seen Maleficent before, but
I was gonna say Cruella because we haven't seen her yet. I mean, we've had references to Little Mermaid and Ursula, and
saw an Ursula.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
we did.
we heard an Ursula.
We heard an
Yeah.
Ursula, but like Cruella is their own original take on it, so she's someone I'm really looking forward to.
And we've
If
seen
you do
Pongo before.
Cruella, if they do Cruella on the show, is she gonna have powers?
No, I don't.
And she doesn't have powers.
Yeah,
She's more evil and wants to have Dalmatians.
she'll just be the mastermind behind the evil doings.
Do you guys think, because Cruella is coming back, and I'm really excited for this because we've had Pongo on the show since season one.
yeah.
So it's like, clearly he's always been there.
Yeah.
But will this get Archie back?
I don't know.
It's possible.
I was thinking about that too.
Well, Halt and Catch Fire is over, so
So he's available to come shoot,
Yeah.
is what you're saying. Okay, well, I think I'm really excited for Cruella.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really sad to see the Frozen line go because, you know, Scott Nancy, you're amazing. But I think that this new trio of evil, it just, you know, those commercials for Disneyland, like at Halloween time, where it's like all the evil characters are like, it's Halloween time. That's literally what Cruella de Vil does in the commercial. But it reminds me of that, and it gets me so excited for all this evilness that's coming in. I don't know why I'm excited for evil, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Ursula. She's a badass.
she looked fierce too. I was like, that is not the Ursula I saw in my cartoon, but
She might be able to control both, sea
Yeah.
and land. What up?
Yeah.
Could be.
yeah. Excited for Ursula because she's just an mystical under the sea kind of being. So like, how are they gonna bring her to land?
Yeah.
See
She has
Ariel
legs.
come back. I don't know. Well, if she's magical, she can give herself legs.
Yeah,
like
to give
in the
herself
movie for a
legs.
minute.
Yeah.
So we shall see. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this after show. Please leave us YouTube comments. We love hearing your predictions every single week. Sometimes, most of the time, they're better than ours. Leave us, rate us on iTunes. You can type in AfterBuzz TV, find our Once Upon a Time after show there. Rate, subscribe, leave us a comment. We would love you for that. Scott, thank you so much for coming in. We are excited to see your final episode. But people can watch you on Chasing Life as well, right?
Yes, that's right. This Tuesday, actually, we're going to do a bit of a Christmas special this Tuesday. So tune into that.
And he'll be back in the studio doing the AfterBuzz TV after show for that
That's
too
right.
on Tuesday. So
I get that.
double dosing of Scott this week.
And where can people find you on social media?
At Scott M. Foster.
As in Michael?
As in Michael. Not N as in Nancy, M as in Michael. Scott M. Foster.
Okay.
And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at the Tiona Hobson.
And I'm on Twitter and on Instagram at Serafini TV.
You can find me on both of those, Kaorious, Kaorious.
You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelley. You can find me on Instagram at Cathy Kelley. You can find all of us here on Twitter and Instagram at AfterBuzz TV. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, thank you, Scott, for coming in. Thank you all for hosting the show, and we will see you again next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.